How to transcribe a book from paper format to Lambda format Part 2. Before we start describing how to transcribe in Lambda format, let's talk about the types of PDF files, commonly used for these operations. PDF documents can be classified into two different types depending on how the file was generated. Vector PDF files, also called true PDFs, consist of text and images that are combined into a single document. However, when paper documents are scanned, their content is sealed in an image, similar to a photograph, and no text is displayed. Therefore, image-only PDFs are not searchable and their text cannot be edited or marked up. An image-only PDF can be made searchable by applying OCR technology, which adds a layer of text, usually underneath the page image. To perform this operation, there are specific software programs available such as Abby Fine Reader, or Ashampoo, but there are many others as well. In this image, we can see a comparison of two PDF files. The one on the left is an image file, while the one on the right is a vector file. As you can see, the vector file is not pixelated because the elements it contains are not represented by pixels but by digital information. Let's start by assuming that we have a page available in true PDF format. We emphasize this aspect, namely the type of file, because if we use a PDF file from a traditional scan, the InfToReader program will not offer satisfactory results, unless the content of the page is very simple. Let's also assume that we have previously installed InfToReader and InfToEditor. Let's open the InfToReader program. Select the image PDF and 600p options. Also, select the output file format section. In our case, we choose IML because with this format, we can then open it with InfToEditor, the tool that will allow us to intervene to correct any errors. Keep in mind that within InfToReader, we cannot make any correction interventions, except for setting the most suitable tools for recognition. From the File menu, select the Open File option. From here, we will import our PDF file. Once the file is selected, the window will show the path where the file to be processed is located, and where the output file will be saved. To start recognition, it is necessary to press the Start OCR button. After a few seconds, the user will be presented with the result of recognition by opening the InfToEditor program previously installed. If everything went well, InfToEditor will display the page with the recognized text on the left and the original page on the right. The page on the right is in PNG format and is automatically generated by the InfToEditor program after recognition. The PNG format page is functional to the program. It is generated to help the user make a direct comparison between what has been recognized and the original image. It can be noticed that if we move the cursor in the left window, automatically, in the right window, there will be a red cursor that will position itself exactly on the corresponding character. In this way, the user is facilitated in the comparison. We remind that the right window is only for display purposes. Therefore, no operations can be performed on the right window except for zooming in on the original text. Note that the recognized text in the InfToEditor program appears in two colors, black and blue. The black color indicates all the text while the blue color indicates formulas and numbers. This distinction is very important, as it is similar to how it appears in the Lambda editor. In fact, in the Lambda editor, textual elements are distinguished from mathematical ones through opening and closing tags of the text. Note the symbol A for opening text and the same symbol crossed out for indicating closure. Regarding this, let's make a brief digression about the distinction between text and numbers. In Lambda, text and numbers are distinguished. Text, shown in blue, is always preceded and followed by a particular symbol, which we will call A for opening and A with a bar for closing. This implies that the Braille reader will find the beginning and ending symbols of text in the Braille text. Now, if a simple number appears in the written text, it is not necessary to close the text, insert the number, and then reopen it. The student is able to easily understand from the context that it is a number, even if it is in a textual environment. In the image you can see the number 50 presented in a textual environment and below it in a numerical environment. Therefore, it is preferable to write the number in a textual environment. All of this is to help the student read more quickly and to use fewer characters. Let's go back to our page elaborated by INFTY Reader. Now it is necessary, through INFTY Editor, to carry out the following operations. 1. Correct all recognition errors. 2. Format the page. 3. Save the document. 4. Export it in XML format. Let's start analyzing the first part of the page. First of all, we can notice that the program is not able to interpret the colored texts. So the circled words are not present in the recognized page. We also note that the program reads and interprets the page horizontally even if the text located to the right of our document, the one in the right column, does not belong to the main frame. It is part of another topic. Therefore, later on, it will be necessary to intervene manually by separating the contents of the different columns. Before continuing, let's open another parenthesis to underline the fact that modern books are particularly difficult to transcribe in Braille as they use the page as a concept map, on which to distribute information in a captivating way, to capture the attention of the reader, using colors, different font sizes, arrows, underlines, boxes and so on. All this makes the transcriber's job particularly difficult, as he has to identify a translation strategy and apply it to all subsequent pages, to give a homogeneous organization to all pages. Let's take the example of a page with boxes and images. Where should these be described? In conclusion? At the beginning? In the middle? Here the sensitivity of the transcriptionist intervenes, who must decide where it is convenient to insert the description of an image. In some cases the transcriptionist may also decide to leave out the description of some boxes that do not add anything significant to the main message. All this makes the transcriber's job particularly difficult, as he has to identify a translation strategy and apply it to all subsequent pages, to give a homogeneous organization to all pages. Let's take the example of a page with boxes and images. Where should these be described? In conclusion? At the beginning? In the middle? Here the sensitivity of the transcriptionist intervenes, who must decide where it is convenient to insert the description of an image. In some cases the transcriptionist may also decide to leave out the description of some boxes that do not add anything significant to the main message. Likewise, sometimes it may be useful to bring part of the content of the next page on the same page if, for example, it is a text whose sentence ends on the next page. For a sighted person, turning a page of a book is not a problem, while it is for a blind person who has to close a file, open another to understand the meaning of the sentence. We return to our page to transcribe. The main part concerns everything that is inserted inside the example box. While the boxes on the right of the page can be reported at the bottom of the page. Then with the copy and paste tool, we put the page elements in order. Now let's transform the mathematical elements into textual elements. For example, note how the character E must be transformed into text. To do this, select the element in question and from the Format menu we will choose the text mode item. After this operation we will notice that the letter E will have become black. It is possible to perform these actions also using the keys in charge, which are particularly useful when it is necessary to make many changes. For example, to turn selected characters into text, you can press Ctrl+T. While to transform the selected characters into math, press Ctrl+M. But let's continue with the recognition of the fragment in question. This is the original text. While what you see in this image is the result inside InfD editor, after cutting the text that didn't belong to the current box. The next operation is to remove the new line characters, which we will not need in Lambda, as the Braille layout will be completely different. Now that our text has been corrected, cleaned up, and the new lines have been removed, we can proceed to saving the page in IML format, which is the proprietary format of InfD Reader. We will not need this format for transcription in Lambda, however it is always advisable to keep the IML version in case we want to intervene with other changes or corrections, which we did not make in the first step. Once we have saved the file in proprietary format, we can now export it in MathML format. To do this, go to the File menu, select Export and select the MathML item. For saving, the program proposes by default the name of the PDF file we used, naturally with the XHTML extension. Now that our file is in XHTML format, we can import it with Lambda. We go to the File menu and select the item Import XHTML. This is the result we get after importing. You will notice a vertical red line in the center of the page. It indicates the position of the 40th character. This value can be changed through the Edit menu. By going to the Modify, Layout menu, it is possible to open a window in which to specify the number of characters per line. By default, 40 characters are indicated, but it is possible to enter any value. This in order to automatically paginate the text. After confirming with OK, the program proposes the new page, wrapping the text that exceeds the 40-character limit, without breaking the words. Now all that remains is to intervene manually, to correct the inevitable recognition errors, and insert the unrecognized elements. In this specific case, the program has not recognized the table that appears at the bottom right of the box. Here the transcriber will have to go to the Insert, Tables menu and insert the table of signs.